Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Eric May, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our Technology Virtual Investor Conference. Our next slide presentation is from Bluesphere Carbon. Before we introduce our speakers, a few points to note. Please submit your questions in the question box to the left of the slides. If you're interested in scheduling a meeting with Bluesphere Carbon, please click on the Schedule Meeting tab found in the platform navigation bar. You'll be able to view the company's availability and submit a meeting request. On a final note, all of today's presentations will be recorded and available for 24/7 replay. At this point, I am very pleased to welcome Eddie Soleimani, CEO and co-founder, and Shidan Goran, chairman and co-founder of Bluesphere Carbon, a private company. Welcome, Eddie and Shidan.
Great, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Eric.
Shidan, you want to start off?
Sure. So thanks everybody for attending our webinar. We're Bluesphere Carbon, an online marketplace and broker of carbon credits, as well as an incubator of projects in the carbon credit and renewable energy space. We're right now doing a crowdfunding campaign, and it's currently live, and our intention is to list on the OTC markets later this year. Great.
Correct. All right. So just to start off about our team, my name is Eddie Soleimani, CEO and co-founder with Shidan of Bluesphere Carbon. So my background in the past, I've been on Wall Street about 25 years, and over 20 of those years, I've had my own firm and specializing in software development of financial platforms to trade. We're in the quantitative trading field, which is automated trading. We also have developed smart order routing and became one of the largest executors of trades in the quantitative trading field, electronic trading field. We also have built our own exchange in addition to that several years back, and now we are trying to bring our expertise here to build an exchange, for carbon credits, which we see as the next big growth opportunity, and asset class.
Great. And just to add to that, Eddie's firm does billions of trades, on a regular basis.
About 1.5 to 2 billion shares a month. Yeah, we're executing that. Right.
And he's the guy who legalized absinthe in North America, and he launched the first absinthe brand in 100 years. So a bit about myself. I've been a tech entrepreneur, for the past almost 30 years now, and I got into the VoIP space very early on and had a successful exit there. Following that, I got into the cryptocurrency space, blockchain space, became one of the very early investors in some of the leading companies in that space, started one of the largest Bitcoin mining companies in 2017. And that led to just merchant banking and funding junior deals. And I've been really focused on the esports space and technology space more than anything else. Just to speak about our other team members, Natasha Ingram is our CMO, extremely talented, has run a number of very successful e-commerce businesses. Mike Kirshon, our CTO, was the lead developer of the most popular crypto-based gambling platform, sports betting platform in the world. So this is the core team. So moving on from there, most people don't know what carbon offsets are. So maybe Eddie, we can start there.
Sure. So carbon credits and carbon offsets are similar, but carbon credits are basically awarded by sequestering or taking a ton of carbon out of the atmosphere. So basically, every single government, the UN, around the world, are completely behind this type of way to, of course, help companies and people, and especially the airline industry, the Amazons and Microsofts of the world, and the cruise ship industry, so on and so forth, to reduce their carbon footprint. So everybody hears about carbon footprint and how they're trying to reduce it, but I don't think they completely understand that if a company is, for example, destroying the atmosphere by burning, let's say 100 million tons of carbon a year, you can go out and buy 10 or 20 million carbon credits to offset your carbon footprint. So in a nutshell, that's where carbon credits come from. And you have to follow certain protocols to get them awarded. You can't just go and give your own stamp of approval.
Yeah. So Eddie and I were looking to, start a fund in the clean tech space. And then in 2021, something very interesting happened at the COP conference. And that was that Article 6 of the Paris Agreement was finally accepted by all nations, and there was a commitment to that. What Article 6 says is that for cap and trade systems within their countries, businesses, governments, the country can use international trade for their offsetting. So if you're in the States, you can buy offsets from another country to or credits from another country to offset your carbon footprint. And that, when we found out about that, it really made a light bulb go off, and we realized that this space is really about fintech and coordinating people, and it's a market like any other, and that our skill set was actually the right one to launch our own company in this space, and we were right. I mean, the market has reacted very favorably to what happened in Glasgow, and the markets have grown tremendously. So carbon credits are right now the fastest growing market in the world. They've increased by over 864% in the last 5 years. And everybody, for example, Bloomberg has projected that they're going to increase another 3,000%. Right now, they've increased, more than twice as Bitcoin and more than 10 times as NASDAQ, as the NASDAQ
Right.
composite.
That's right. It's outpaced every other asset class right now. And as companies are forced, voluntarily and also forced to reduce their carbon footprints via carbon offsets, the industry is only going to have much, much more demand, and we believe is going to explode, just as Shadan said. Bloomberg themselves have analyzed it and said it's going to increase 3,000% in the next handful of years.
Exactly. And it's an asset class people don't know much about, which one of the biggest opportunities, probably the biggest opportunity of the next 30 years. Yeah.
Before we get to this, Shadan, I just want to explain that the analogy I use is what we're doing now with carbon credits and carbon offsets are similar to what Bitcoin was, let's say 10, 12 years ago, when people didn't understand it. It was there. There was an inner group of people that were using it in the business, but none of us really understood it. And it wasn't until, let's say, the likes of Coinbase and Binance and some of these other exchanges came about, which is like our Bluesphere exchange, where every ordinary, just everyday people like ourselves can go in and trade carbon credits. So I just want to clarify. I think that really hits it home and helps people understand the magnitude of what we're doing.
Yeah. So there's been a tremendous inflation due to climate change on everybody's lives already. I mean, we all have been to the grocery stores. We all buy stuff like eggs. We know how insane prices have become, and a lot of that can be attributed to climate change. Now, in addition to that, and the projected fact that this is going to increase a lot more actually in the near future, the rate of inflation due to climate change. On top of that, again, as part of the UN conventions and agreements of everybody, the price of this future damage is going to be built into every product and service you buy and sell. That externality is going to be part of the bottom line of every product. So companies that have to offset their carbon footprint include oil companies, for example. You can expect that 30% of the cost of fossil fuels in the future will be the cost of the offsetting costs, right? and at projected $170 per metric ton of carbon, that's considerable, right? So you can expect that at least 30% of inflation is just going to be from the offsetting space in the very near future. That's pretty much what we're trying to get at in this slide, and why we think this is going to be a very important space to invest in, because you can either be one of the people that just suffers from that inflation, or you can be part of the group that actually does something to make the space happens, to fix these externalities, and gets these offsets as an asset class that's going to soar in value. So you can be one of those camps, and getting exposure to carbon credits and companies that are in this space gives you that protection and upside. So
Right.
Bluesphere,
So
yeah.
go ahead. So Bluesphere has, it's not just an exchange we're building. It's the easiest thing to understand and how we launched the company. But we have many other projects and partnerships, from Canada to Malaysia, even to Australia and Africa, that we have put together, that is part of, and everything is under the Bluesphere umbrella. So, for example, we have the exchange, as you see here. We have a Malaysian joint venture we'll discuss in the next slide. We have Pure Sky Registry, which we'll explain, which is actually very, very exciting. And we have TreeGens, which is a tree planting company, which is the best thing that we thought we could do, is start with a partner, planting trees around the world, which basically is doing actually more good than people think in reducing CO2 from the atmosphere.
Yep. So we already have one question, and it's, who are the buyers and sellers on your network? I'll just address that now. Right now, all our sales have been B2B. So we've sold $3 million worth of carbon credits to date, and it's all been to industry players. The Bluesphere Carbon Exchange that we've just launched aims to bring that also to a retail audience, as well as to small businesses and just anybody who wants to offset their carbon footprint or buy these carbon credits can do it on the platform. It's a spot market. So that's that. Just moving to the next slide. Okay, so Eddie, I think we kind of explained this already, but do you want to give a?
Yeah, we did. I mean, maybe you could touch upon Malay Carbon a little bit, and I'll touch on Pure Sky.
Okay, so Malay Carbon is a joint venture we have with a conglomerate in Malaysia, run by His Highness Tengku Datu Saifuddin, and the reason we set that up is because Southeast Asia is going to be a critical hub of carbon sequestration. Anywhere where the oil industry is very rich, there's a lot of oil wells, and has that kind of geology, is going to be key to the space. Because what happens is, when you sequester carbon, when you remove it from the atmosphere, for example, which is coming actually in the very near future, or when you remove carbon from an industrial process, you then have to sequester that in geological formations, and when you do that, you use oil wells usually more than anything else, and also salt quarries to a degree, but mostly oil wells are the prime place to sequester this carbon. So it's a huge industry, and it's if we believe some of the statistics, for example, the 3,000% statistics that Bloomberg came up with for growth in this space, this will actually be on par, if not bigger, than the oil industry. The energy industry accounts for about 5% of the economy. The oil industry, this will be up there with it. So it's this is why companies like Shell, Exxon, BP, all of them are so excited about the carbon capture and sequestration space. So we're very excited about that. We're in talks with a number of key players in the energy industry there about originating deals and bringing carbon to Malaysia for sequestration.
Right. So quickly, I'll touch upon the Pure Sky Registry. Then we have another question that came in. The Pure Sky Registry essentially is a standard which verifies carbon projects. You can't just go and, like I said, put your stamp on approval. You actually have to go through an entire process and get selected to be able to verify projects around the world. So, for example, Vera and Gold Standard are two of the biggest ones. Some of the problems that they're coming across these days is that they're bottlenecked, and we have a friend who is trying to get carbon credits approved, and he said that there is a 4 to 5 year wait. So we saw a tremendous opportunity to start our own registry and our own standard, which and we're doing it in a partnership with a huge farming co-op. It's some of the largest farming co-ops in Canada right now. And that is going to be it's essentially you can now get your own projects, you can stamp your own projects, you can get them approved, you can then get the carbon credits for it, and you could go sell them on your own exchange or B&B to other companies, which is making us, a very integrated company, let's say.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to add, so the members of puresky.earth, which is our website, right now account for about 60% of the farms in Canada. They're the largest farmers in Canada, as Eddie mentioned.
Right.
And
So
that's
go ahead.
no, go ahead, Eddie.
No, we have a couple of questions here.
Yeah.
Can you read them?
Is EthicStream a competitor?
Yeah, I believe EthicStream is the one that's doing. They're doing
just
some sort of
carbon
rate, right?
streaming. So, yeah, they're doing a reggae. I believe they just started right now. So in the capital market, especially in Canada, streaming is a very natural business for people in the capital markets to enter, because it's just like any natural resource streaming company, right? And they are a competitor in the sense that they're in the carbon space, and we do broker streaming contracts, but they're completely not like us, because we're not just that. We view ourselves as being a technology platform and a marketplace, somebody who brings transparency, market dynamics to a space that looks more like the diamond trading industry today is really what's going to create a unicorn. And Eddie and I are looking to build a unicorn, not just another streaming company, which is what everybody pretty much in the junior markets is doing now. All the good companies are private companies. So our biggest competitor is a company called Expansive that just raised $450 million. Who did they raise it from, Eddie? It was Blackstone, right? Yeah.
Blackstone was one of the companies, correct? And then there was correct. And then there was another one as well in Canada.
There was. So they $450 million as a retail member, you're not going to get access to that deal. Only a select few funds can right now invest in these exchanges. Another one is Patch.io. Andreessen Horowitz just raised just invested over $80 million in them. And Indigo AG, which is somewhat in line with what Pure Sky is doing, just raised $1.5 billion. These companies aren't going to go public anytime soon. They don't need to, because there's real cash flow here, and there's a lot of institutional money that's also coming in this space. We really believe in the crowd. This is my background, and I told Eddie that we really should go the crowdfunding route with a Regulation A+ raise, a Regulation CF raise, and get that behind us. So they're not competitive to us, because they're not a technology company. They're just a streaming company.
Right. Let's go to the next. We have a few more slides there.
Great.
The next 4 slides are basically what we touched upon. Right now, we have the carbon exchange, which is, I think, a very exciting part of our business right now, obviously, and the first thing that we were working on. So to be able to build an exchange for everybody to trade, again, I mentioned it earlier, is kind of like building a Binance or an exchange for crypto, where the masses were able to get in and able to trade these, as opposed to just institutional. So this is where we believe the large growth is going to come from.
Yeah, and I'll just add. So right now, this space again looks more like the diamond industry than it does, something that should be completely efficient, like the forex industry, because there's just brokers. They'll say they'll sell the same product to one party for maybe half the price the other. They'll buy it from the developer of the carbon credits for pennies on the dollar, and having an exchange that brings market clarity, that brings price discovery, and as one person asked about plans for data products that actually provides statistics and ratings on these carbon credits. And there's thousands of them. Some of them go for $600. Some of them go for pennies. Is extremely important. So that's what this space is all about. We're running short on time, but let's go to the next slide.
Yeah. Well, you touched
Carbon
upon
Malay
it.
Corp. We've spoken about Pure Sky Registry. I think we've covered quite nicely.
Yeah, another
Uh,
one. Well, tree gens is something that I wanted to say as part of our offering for there's a $500 minimum. So for every minimum that people come in with, or dollar for dollar, we're planting a tree. So people will get 500 trees planted, and we thought it was more resourceful to start our own company with a partner who's in Africa that is planting trees all over the world, including breaking the Guinness World Record in Australia for planting the most trees for one person in one day in the next week or two, I guess. I don't remember the exact date of the
yeah,
Guinness
on Earth Day,
on Earth Day,
and
the
it's
22nd.
going to be verified by Guinness. He's going to attempt to break the world record, and we believe this is going to bring a lot of press to tree gens, which we have a major stake in, and he's doing an amazing job there. And we can't wait for that to happen. Right now, it's held by actually somebody called Mr. Beast, who is the largest one of the largest influencers in the world, as far as social media goes. And I believe Tree Gens will have that record on Earth Day,
Right.
which is very exciting.
That's right. All right. So I think the next slide is just a brief outline of what we were planning on doing. We want to list this. We want to do the crowdfunding campaign and get this listed by the end of the year, hopefully, or within a year, which will provide us with the liquidity and funds we need to be able to expand and bring this company to where we need it, what our vision is for it. And that's actually a big plus for every investor as well, naturally.
Eddie,
Because we
Eddie,
don't.
Eddie and I have been on the other side of the fence a lot, where we were, the guys who've funded deals and packaged them up
Invested in
and
deals and
taken them
funded them,
public.
right?
And some of them have done very successfully. Have been very successful. Here, this time, we just love this project so much that we're doing it ourselves. And our goal is to eventually list on Nasdaq, but depending on just market environments and where we're at, we might list on OTCQX first before we take that step.
So I think now we should open it up to even more Q&A if possible.
Key milestones for 2023. Somebody said, well, we've raised. I mean, we've already sold around $3 million of carbon credits, and we anticipate that that's going to be around 15 million just based on our current deal flow. The reaching out to the retail audience and smaller businesses, I think, is going to be what makes a company like ours into a unicorn in this space, and we plan on launching a major marketing budget. Marketing campaign, and a bunch of the funds we're raising will be for that purpose. And our milestones are centered around that more than anything.
Right, and the capital needs for what we have right now, as somebody is asking, is first of all, we have to continue building out the exchange. We have to get the registry completed and approved, which takes time, and we need a lot of marketing budget to bring education to the masses and have people understand that carbon credits are like crypto of 10 years ago, where they really weren't for the masses. I mean, I wasn't that familiar with them 10 years ago even. I know Shadan was, But 10 years ago is when I started to hear about it a little bit. And then, of course, another thing to realize is, even though I use that analogy often, crypto is something that every monetary system and country around the world has been trying to either get rid of, control, as opposed to what we are doing, which in the carbon field, every single country is behind it. So we have, the wind behind our backs versus trying to get, stepped on, I guess, by governments around the world. So that's something very important to take into consideration. And I think also, Shadan, somebody wrote, how can an investor participate? So right there on your screen is how an investor can participate. The information is there, the deck, the investor deck. You could also contact us at info directly. We could set up a call directly with you, except the email is a little bit off. It is. It's Bluesphere Carbon. Sorry, right. We didn't notice. It's info@bluespherecarbon.com, and that goes to the executive team, and we could set up calls individually for people. Any questions you have. So sorry, just if everybody can.
Yeah, it's just please go to investinbluesphere.com, and we have a portal there. You can invest straight from that site.
Exactly. Right. Okay. Anyone else? Did we miss anything, or pretty much any other points we can hit on right now? But I think we pretty much covered it. The first thing was just for people to understand what carbon credits and offsets are.
We're also throwing a seminar. I'd encourage you to go to bluespherecarbon.com or investinbluesphere.com and sign up to our mailing list. Because so many people don't really know what carbon credits are about, we've put together a masterclass on Monday. It's a free class that will teach you about all kinds of carbon credits, the fundamental analysis that goes into investing in this space, the technical analysis, the arbitrage opportunities, pretty much everything we will discuss on that seminar, and let you know how you can buy these across multiple exchanges, and really just educate everybody on the market potentials, as well as the currently listed public companies, exchange products, exchange traded products of various kinds that can help you gain exposure to this space.
Okay, I think if anyone has any more questions, please get us at investinbluesphere.com or bluespherecarbon.com, and you can click the link. It'll go to info. Like I said, it goes to all of us, and we can answer all of your questions or even get on a phone call. But we want to thank everyone for joining us today, and hope to hear from a lot of you out there, and so we could explain to you a little bit more in detail about what our company is all about, and to hopefully get you involved with us.
Thank you all.